No, Ty, we're going casual today.
How were the meetings?
The meetings were good. We got a chance to speak with everybody and talk a little bit about this season and what we hope to improve on and how to progress moving into the spring and summer months. So overall, they were productive.
One thing we noticed, they're all carrying books. Summer reading for them, I guess.
There was a book that we gave out. Just you could call it summer reading, more of maybe something to do during some downtime.
Well, a bunch of your young guys were saying that it already started last night. They were talking about how they were going to hold each other accountable. They were going to push each other all summer. How good is it to hear that they realize it's a big summer for them?
Yeah, I think it's a sign of growth. I think when you look at some of the young players that we brought in at the beginning of the year, and you look at them now, just to see their mental progress, their mental development, in addition to their skill and physical development, it gives you a lot of confidence that they're going to approach the off-season the right way and do what they have to do to get better.
How satisfying was it to see a Mo make a big jump and Nick go from where he was to where he is, and to watch those young guys improve? How satisfying was it?
I think it's indicative of the progress that we're able to make, this season, but also in future seasons. So we see it more of as a starting point and something that will continue to evolve and develop over the next several years. And it's a credit to them. It's a credit to the guys for putting in the work and trusting our coaches and doing what they have to do to improve.
Going into the season, you made some pretty good moves. No Andrew Bynum, the White deal, bringing in Vucevic, finding Tobias Harris. How much do you appreciate what you've done yourself? Can you give yourself a pat on the back now that the season is over?
Well, Larry, we won 20 games, so I can't really give myself a pat on the back. We feel good about how we're positioned for the future. We feel good about the players we have, but every man knows that we have a lot of work to do still, and we're excited about that. We have a challenge ahead of us. We know we have to get better. We believe we will get better, and I think that the group that we were able to establish this season is a really good starting point for that.
From a roster standpoint, how far away are you from being a playoff contender?
That's a good question. I think we're still a ways out, but I would think we're a little bit closer than maybe the perception tells us. But we still got a lot of work to do. We're still learning how to compete, learning how to do things consistent every day. That was one thing that Jacques did an incredible job of this season, was being consistent day in and day out. And we're starting to see some of that transfer to our players, and we hope that it will continue to do that.
We hear you and Jacques mention the process. Seeing Tobias and those guys, does it give you confidence though in the process? Maybe not a pat on the back, but confidence?
Yeah, we believe in the process that we subscribe to. So, anybody that we decide to bring in to the organization will have confidence that we've gone through all the different vetting mechanisms to make sure that it makes sense both from a basketball standpoint and then just as a personal character standpoint.
Rob, when you're positioning yourself for the future, how do the veterans fit in there, or do they?
I think you always need to have veterans on the team. You have to be careful of being too young. You have to be careful of being too old. So I think there's a balancing act that you have to find. But I would say that veterans are an integral part to what we're trying to do here, and will continue to be.
But isn't this tricky because veterans help you win games, and if there's a draft like 2014 is supposed to be, how do you weigh that? How do you balance that so you can have that in your future?
Well, the key word you used was supposed to be. So we don't want to work in the assumptive realm. We want to make sure that we try to win every game, and that's what we tried to do this year, and that's the truth. We didn't win as many as we hoped, but I think that mentality and that culture and that desire to continue to try to win every game, every possession, that manifests itself in different ways and ultimately leads to good habits. So that's what we're about, and I think that we'll continue to be about that next year. Next year's draft is the furthest thing on our mind.
But the number one pick is still important, is it? You got it right now. I mean, you have a chance to have it. Is that also part of the plan too, to get those high picks?
Well, we're going to pick where we're picking. So we have a chance to have the number one pick this year, and it's our job to make sure that we select someone. I don't think we won't select anyone. You know, we'll have our research done and we'll have someone that we think makes sense for us. The draft's part of it, there's no question. You know, we feel like the draft is if done the right way and done well, is a way to improve the team, but it's not going to be the only way.
With what you learned at Oklahoma City and San Antonio, what do you guys weigh or put more weight in when you're working guys out or looking at their character? Is there certain things that you put more weight on?
There's probably not one thing that stands out more than the other. It's a multitude of things that really dive into, you know, what is this person all about? You know, what does his resume say up to this point? But there isn't one thing that I would say we put more importance on than another.
Rob, the first year of transition, despite the 20 wins, was it a good year? How would you term it?
I think it was a year that, looking back on it, we made progress and we were able to set a direction and a foundation and some stepping stones that I think will benefit us going forward.